Hello everyone, and thank you again for joining us for a BFT Tech video. If you saw our last video on the sub operator, I mentioned a foundation box or like an add-on. So we have several different options. This specific one is the CPS box, right? So this is just if you don't want to use what came with the sub and you want something maybe a little more sturdy or something else that you can work with a little better for when you open up the ground and set your foundation for this guy to stick it in, right? So it does come with another cap, all right? So you got another cap, so it's important to make sure you get the SX and DX right so you can get to your manual release. So you'll have two of those, which is not a bad thing for over time. It comes with, the little filler piece in the back of the cap to, keep it all closed up. You have, your hub and a little bung piece. I'll go over that a little bit later. But very important, right, before we get to any of this, is make sure from the last video, you got your indexing done on your operator. So again, make sure you did GSX or GDX. You got it correct. Do your indexing, and then of course remove these plastic pieces from the top of the sub operator before getting it in there, right? Okay, so of course, and I don't know if you can see on the sides here, it gives you nice little holes for the drainage I mentioned in the last video. All right. So to get the sub operator in there, you basically, right now it's laying flat. You kind of have to have it up and down, kind of get it past this spot right here. Once it's in, you can kind of turn it up and lay it down flat, right? It takes a little bit of wiggle room. That's why I got gloves so I didn't break my fingers. But for the most part, it shouldn't be too bad. You know what I mean? You got your foundation box put in, you got it bolted down to your cement padding or wherever it is you got it installed. And then of course you can stick your operator in and get it going. Already indexed like we mentioned. All right. So of course, after you see it indexed, you'll notice that right here, there's also a brass bushing. This is a load bearing box, so you can't even use this as a bottom hinge. You know what I mean? You have to make sure you got everything nice and perfect if you want to use it as a bottom hinge. But this is a load bearing box if you want to do it that way. And of course, if you remember from the last video, it comes with a slightly different type of hub, and it also has a little notch out here, right? And again, that's why it's important to have it properly indexed. So when you stick the notch on the box, you'll see there's a SX and a DX. So you'll want to place the hub in there correct with the SX, and then you should be able to line up with your motor properly indexed up into your hub. Again, it comes with like a little bung or like a space filler, right? So this part goes welded to the bottom of your gate. You can have it all the way in if you need to space it out a little bit and connect it and then weld around. This is more or less a traditional way to connect it with the CPS box, right? Or, of course, you can add, as I mentioned before, the little add-on for when things are not beautiful and plumb and perfect, right? So this gets welded onto the top of this gets welded to the bottom of the gate, and of course, they can run together, open and close as needed, right? So there's a cool little accessory that works for the sub by itself or with the CPS foundation box. All right, so now, it also, you notice it comes with a jacking bolt, and then it comes with a little 10mm Allen key, right? So if you remember from the last video, there's like a square bracket on the bottom of the sub, right? So you'll look at this box here, you'll see these two tabs here that go all the way to the back, and then you'll see this one tab here on the front. This tab is actually tapered down, kind of like at an angle, right? So when you have all three of your jacking bolts installed, very important with these jacking bolts to throw some anti-seize on there, all right? So you wanna make sure you have anti-seize on all three of these jacking bolts, all right? So it's gonna help you for the future, for replacement, for whatever. Anti-seize is your friend, all right? So we got all three jacking bolts in place, and then you notice you have holes here where I can stick the Allen key through, and then you will basically, kind of like a star pattern, just jacking up each bolt, one at a time, this one, until you have it all the way up to where you want, and then snug tight between this tab here, right? And this tab is gonna help it from shifting. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but if you notice, this cable is a little tight. Oh, this thing's heavy, I'm not gonna lie. But this cable right inside here is a little tight against the box. So maybe over time, this tab gets worn out or something, so it might get loose. And it rubs up a little bit against this cable. So in my opinion, I actually prefer the FCS box. So check out this video for that one. But still, not a bad box, strong enclosure to protect your sub. And of course, after you have it jacked up, you're able to slide your gate on and have everything going there correctly. There's not really too much more for this. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe and hit that like button. Thank you.